Hello and welcome. So we are going to develop the augmented reality geometric shapes app using the ARCore Flutter plugin. So we will display some geometric shapes like cube, cylinder, or you can also display a sphere in your real environment where you are testing this application in your room, in your school, or in your garden with the help of your phone camera. You will see all these geometric shapes in your real environment. So let's start developing this ARCore geometric shapes app using the ARCore plugin. So open up your Android Studio. Here you will see this new Flutter project. Just click on that. Make sure that from here you click on this Flutter. Then click Next. And here you have to provide your project name. So I will just give it name as AR Geometric Shapes underscore app. AR Geometric Shapes app. Here if you want you can give some description about your project. For example, this is augmented reality geometric shapes app using ARCore plugin. And then after it here you have this organization. So here you have to type your URL if you have a website, or you can give your own name. It is basically the thing which is basically your project ID. So instead of example you can write your name. For example, my name is Muhammad Ali, so I will just say com.Muhammad Ali. And let's say if your name is John, then you can just type com.John, or let's say if your name is Peter, then it will be com.Peter. Okay, and then after it make sure to uncheck Windows, Web, macOS, Linux, iOS. Only checked Android, as you know that ARCore supports the Android side. Okay, ARCore is for the Android. For the iOS we use ARKit plugin, about which we have already created a course, so you can check out our ARKit course, using which you can develop iOS augmented reality applications. ARCore is for Flutter Android applications. Okay, ARCore plugin is basically for the Android Flutter only. So that's why make sure to check only the Android one, and then of course click on create. So our project has been created successfully, as you can see. First of all, we have from here you have to make sure that project is selected. Then you have this AR Geometric Shapes app, which is our project which is created. Then in here we have lib. Inside the lib we have main.dot, where basically we write our code. By default you will get this default code which you do not need. Of course we will remove that later on. And then here in the popspec.yml file, if you use any dependency, for example currently we will use the ARCore plugin dependency, so that we will add here in our popspec.yml, or any other dependency which we want to add, we will add that in here in the popspec.yml after the Cupertino icons. And let's say if you want to use any assets or any fonts, then that also we add here in the popspec.yml. that is the reference to that basically, which you will learn step by step in this course completely. Okay, for now this was just the basic explanation. What we need to do is, here you can see my home page on the main.dot. okay, inside the lib main.dot, which is the default main.dot file and the default code. We do not need this, so just minimize this code, my home page, and then my home page state, and just remove that. After it, make sure to remove these comments and also this. And this is our Flutter AR Geometric Shapes app. So yeah, that's it. Now right click on lib, new dot file, and let's create a file by the name AR underscore geometric underscore shapes, AR geometric shapes screen. Okay, the name of the dot file must be in small English alphabets. Okay, and do not give any space. Instead of space, you can use this underscore. So AR underscore geometric underscore shapes underscore screen. So this is our dot file. Let's just import material dot, and this is our first stateful widget, that is our screen for displaying AR geometric shapes with the help of ARCore plugin using your phone camera. So we are implementing that step by step. So first of all, let's give it name AR geometric shapes screen. So come here to main.dot, and home simply means that the initial route from where our app will start. So we want our app to start from the AR geometric shape screen, that is we want to display that. So AR geometric shape screen. Now the next important thing that we will do in this video is basically to add the ARCore Flutter plugin in our this Flutter project. So what we need to do is we need to go to the pubspec.yml and open up your browser and simply go to the site pub.dev, and here you have to search for ARCore underscore Flutter underscore plugin. So this one, which is ARCore Flutter plugin, just click on that and then click on installing, and whatever the latest new version is, that is latest new dependency, you can just copy it from here. Okay, copy this dependency from here, come back to your project, and inside the pubspec.yml, after the Cupertino icons, you can simply paste that like this, and then click on pub-get exit code 0, which simply means that ARCore Flutter plugin is successfully installed in our this Flutter project. Now the next thing is to do the remaining setup for adding the ARCore Flutter plugin in our project. As you know that the ARCore plugin belongs to Google. Okay, it is by Google, so we have, and it is available for the Android. As you know that Android also belongs to Google, that's why. So we have to add the ARCore and the Sceneform dependency, okay, inside our Android module. So for that purpose, in our ARCore Flutter plugin documentation, come here, okay, and click on readme, which is basically the documentation for it. If you scroll here a little, then you will see this import the Sceneform plugin into your project. Just open up this link. Okay, I open up in a new tab. It will redirect you to this page. Now here you will see this Android Studio plugin for importing, viewing and building 3D assets. Just click on this Android Studio plugin link, okay, or you can open it in a new tab. So in here we have to scroll a little, and we have to basically copy some dependencies for using the ARCore, Sceneform and all these things in our project. So what you need to do, here you can see also the comments alongside with it. Okay, that is the first dependency is for provides ARCore session and related resources, and this dependency is for provide AR fragment and other UX resources. However, this third one is for alternately use AR scene view without the UX dependency. Okay, so we need these three dependencies basically. So just you have to copy it, come back to your project, and inside your project, inside the Android module app, then build.gradle. okay, inside the app build.gradle, here you have to scroll to the bottom and you will see these dependencies. Now inside this dependency, after that you have to just paste that like this. Okay, as you can see, do not give it extra spaces, like for example space forward or backward. Okay, like this, you have to just follow the exact same indentation, you can say. As you can see, proper alignment. Okay, the first dependency, then the second dependency, and then this third dependency, we have to add it like this. Please avoid extra spaces. even if it is forward or backward. Okay, it must be like in proper alignment with this implementation, as you can see. Now when we use ARCore plugin and also the Sceneform, for that it is important that our minimum SDK must be 24 or greater than 24. So we can say 24, okay, which simply means that it will work for 24 or greater than 24. And yeah, that's it. This is how we can use this ARCore Flutter plugin for developing the augmented reality applications for the Android using Flutter, of course, using Flutter SDK for the Android smartphones. This is how we can develop the augmented reality apps. That is how we can add the ARCore Flutter plugin in our project and how we can set up. So this was all about the ARCore Flutter plugin setup in this video. Next thing that we will do is basically we will start developing the augmented reality application, which is our first application where we will display the AR geometric shapes now. So let's quickly implement some geometric shapes and then we can display it in our real environment with the help of phone camera. So first of all, I'm going to add a scaffold widget and add an app bar. Title will be geometric shapes, and make sure to add const modifier here, and we want the title at the center. Then in the body of the screen we will display the AR view where we can see the geometric shapes with the help of phone camera. Basically you will see it, okay, the geometric shapes in the real environment. Now how? Of course you will see it when we will test the application. So we can say ARCore view on ARCore view created. So we will say augmented reality view created. So when the augmented reality view is created, we have to implement this. So above the widget build, we say augmented reality view created. Now this method will receive one thing as a parameter, and that is basically of type ARCore controller. Let's give it name as core controller. Let's initialize here an instance of the ARCore controller and we will give it name as core controller. Okay. Now this controller we have to assign the controller, which is an instance. This controller is an instance of this ARCore controller, which we will receive here as a parameter inside this method. This controller we will assign to our instance, which is by the name core controller. Now with the help of this core controller, basically we will be displaying the geometric shapes in the real environment with the help of our ARCore plugin. For example, first of all we will create a shape, any geometric shape, for example a cube, or it can be any shape. So inside this method we will implement, or you can say write the code for a cube, which we will display with the help of this core controller, which is in the AR view. We can see that. So to this method we will pass this core controller as a parameter. So let's implement a cube shape. So you can say display cube, and as you know that to this method we will pass one thing as a parameter. That is, one thing is passing from here as a parameter, and that is the ARCore controller instance, which is by the name core controller. So we will receive that here. We can say controller. Okay, so this core controller we are receiving inside this controller. Make sure to add a null check here with the core controller. So as we receive it here, first thing that we have to define for the cube is the materials. that is what material, what color, and how much metallic we want it to be. So let's just define that. We can say final materials ARCore material. So first we will define the color for it. So for the cube we want the color to be, you can go with any color you want. Okay, I will go with amber accent. And how much metallic we want, let's go with 2. Then we have to define the size for our this cube shape. So we can simply say cube ARCore cube. It has 2 parameters, one is the size, other one is the material. So what we can do, we can simply say the size will be, for defining the size or the location, that is the positions, we basically need the vector, which is here you can import first vector math, this one vector math 64 dot. Okay, this package we need, and we will give it name as vector 64, like this. So what we can do now, we can define the size with the help of it. We can say vector 64 dot vector 3, and size will be 0.5 comma 0.5 comma 0.5, and the materials we already defined for it. So inside these brackets we can call our materials. So this is our cube. Next thing is we have to tell to our ARCore node about the shape and position. The shape, you already know that it is a cube shape, and the position simply means that where we want to display it when we will test the application. That is, in your real environment it will have a specific position whenever you test the application. So let's define that for it as well. So we can say final ARCore node, and first we have to define the shape. The shape you already know is the cube shape, so we can simply say cube. Then the position where we want to display it in the real environment, so we can define it with the help of vector 64. So we can say vector 64 dot vector 3 minus 0.5 comma 0.5 comma minus 3.5. You can give it any different position you want. Okay, now the reason why I give it this space is basically, first we are implementing cube shape. After this we will display a cylinder, that is 2 geometric shapes. So the cylinder will have a different position and this cube has a different position, so both will not collide with each other. That is, both will have some space in between them, so that we can see both of these shapes separately. So that's why we define the position for it. Now this is all about our how we can implement any geometric shape. For example, in this method we implement a cube shape. First we define the materials, then we define that cube shape with its size, and of course we apply the material on it, which we implemented here, and then finally we define initialize a node. You can say define or initialize ARCore node, where basically we finally tell that is the shape will be cube, and the position where we want to display it, we define it for that. And then as we have all of these things, then we can simply say core controller dot add ARCore node, and our node is node, which simply means that we want to display a cube shape at this position. And you know that for that cube we have specific material, which simply means it will have amber accent color, that is this color, and it will be metallic too. So yeah, make sure to add a null check with core controller. So this is how you can implement any geometric shape. For example, now let's implement another geometric shape. So what we will do, that shape where we will implement it, that is inside a method we will implement it, and we will call that method inside our augmented reality view created, just like this. For example, now I'm going to implement another shape, another geometric shape, and let's give it name as cylinder. That is a cylinder shape. So what I will do, just for the time saving, I'm going to copy paste this method here, and this method name is display cylinder. Okay, and then of course, as you know, that first we have to define the material for any shape we want to implement. So let's say for this the color will be, let's go with this color, which is deep orange. And then the other property for a cylinder, the property is we have another one, which is reflectance. You can also add reflectance to any geometric shape. So the reflectance we want is 2. And then next thing comes is, after materials we have to define the shape which we want to display. So as you know that this one will be cylinder, so we can say that ARCore cylinder, and first we want to apply these material. So we apply these material on our cylinder, and next thing we have to define is, that is, you already know that a cylinder has a radius. So that is how much big you want it to be. So let's go with 0.5 radius, and then cylinder has also a height, so how much you want it in lengthwise. So let's go with 0.4, or you can go with 0.5, whatever the height you want it for it to be. Okay, so this is the radius, height and material which we apply on our this cylinder shape. Next thing comes is the ARCore node, basically where we define the position and the shape. So the shape is basically, you already know it is a cylinder shape, and in the position we have to make it different so that cylinder and cube both has some space, that is, it will not collide with each other. So let's just change this to, it will be at the position vector 64.vector3 0.0 minus 0.5 and minus 2.0. So this is how we can add any geometric shape. So according to the current scenario, we implement the cylinder shape and the cube shape which we are displaying on our ARCore view. So whenever the ARCore view created, it will just start displaying a cube shape and a cylinder shape in your real environment. Let's say if you are testing it in your room or in your garden or in your house, with the help of the phone camera, you will see the cube and cylinder shapes in your house with the help of your phone camera, you can say. Now, as you know that we are developing this application with the latest new version of ARCore Pluggin. If you go to the documentation from where we add these dependencies for the Android, if I show you, then you can see that these are basically from a year earlier. That is, these are from 2020. As you can see, they have not yet updated it to the recent versions. Okay, this website is updated on 2020. However, now we have the latest new versions available for all of these 3 dependencies. Now how you know that? Let me just show it to you. If you go to your Android, where we have added that inside the build.gradle, if you hover over this ARCore, hover your mouse on it, okay, when you take your mouse above that, you will see that a new version of Google ARCore is available, which is 1.37.0. So we will just go with the new one, 1.37.0. Now if you hover over it, it will not show you that. You can see that also that background gray color is removed, because it just suggests us that is it has a new version available, and we were using the old one. As you know that on their official sites they have not yet updated their site. Okay, it is lastly updated on 2020, as you can see. So for example, this one also show this gray color in the background. If you hover your mouse on it, which simply means that if you take your cursor above this, you will see this suggestion: a new version of Sceneform UX is available, which is 1.17.1. so we can say 1.17.1. you see, the suggestion disappeared. That is, it shows us. If you hover your mouse on this one, then it says a new version of AR Sceneform is available, which is 1.17.1. so 1.17.1. so always please make sure that you go with the latest available dependency. Okay, if you hover your mouse on it, it show you all the latest new versions. So before testing the application, please make sure that you change it with the latest new version, just like I did in front of you. Now you can simply come back and now connect your phone with your computer, and let's install the app on it. So the app is running now, as you can see that, and here you see these geometric shapes. We have a cylinder and we have a cube. You can see that, and you can move your mouse, move your screen around it. So it is working fine. So whenever the plan is deducted, as you can see these dotted lines, it will just start displaying the geometric shapes which you implemented. For example, I'm going to change the size of it. For the cylinder, let's change the radius. Let's increase the radius to 0.7, okay, to make it more big. And for the height, let's increase the height to 0.7 as well. Okay, and then next thing is, let's also increase the size of the cube. So for the cube, as you know, the size is this in vector x, y, z axis. So x axis, y axis, z axis. So we can increase it to, instead of 0.5, we can say 0.7, 0.7 and 0.7. And of course, if you want to move it further away, then you can change your position from here. Okay, that is, for example, you can say 4.5 and then let's say 1.5. It is totally up to you where you want to display it. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Now, as I told you, if you want to make it much bigger, then of course you can just go with a bigger size. Okay, so this is for the cube, and the other one is for the cylinder. Cylinder has a radius which you can increase, decrease from here, and it has a height. Okay, so yeah, now let's just test the app to see how it looks. So the app is running now, and here we go. Here you can see we have the cylinder, okay, and we have the cube, both with a bigger size now, as you can see that. So whenever it deducted the plan, it will just start displaying the geometric shapes. So as you know that according to the current scenario, we have display only two geometric shapes. One is the cylinder with this red color, and the other one is the cube, which you see, which is kind of yellow color, amber accent color. So yeah, this is all about how we can display geometric shapes.